All right, welcome. The fight to reclaim, we said Nigeria, or return us back to where we are. The giant of Africa, they said we are. But do we still look like giants? The last administration or this present administration that we have, what do we have to say about it? They have returned us to, is it 1922, the Clifford Constitution? We don't know. But let's examine it. I have with me Chinedu Upola. I have to learn to start calling that name very well. The convener NERCO. Then I have with me my friend to look at this issue. Real-time electronic transmission of election result. How far can we go? How sincere are the protesters? The people in the House, the senators, the House of Rep, how can it take us? What was the original intention? Where are we? Where do we used to be? And where are we now? Let me start from you.
Okay, Casey, thank you very much for having me. You know, after the 2023 election, I had to take time to review what happened. I reviewed the court cases, the comments of the lawyers, the judges. And then we began to look at what can we do to make sure that going forward, elections in Nigeria is transparent and credible. And that's what gave birth to NERCO, Nigeria Electoral Reform Coalition, NERCO. And I actually initiated it alone with one or two friends. And then we began to bring in several people to join us. I had a few other people. At a certain time, it was getting too difficult to run. And then I told myself, I beg, let me leave this thing and face other things. Until a few people from the diaspora began to call me that they wanted to join what we're doing. And then we commenced again. It's pushing for this in Nigeria. You know, everybody believes that you must get everything by protest. The plans we ironed out included this protest. This occupying, as you're seeing, was our initiative. It was our initiative. I wrote it out. Said we're going to have occupying us that everybody carried up. Yeah. Now, but it was not going to be occupying us just a protest. There was a purpose for it. We're going to have advocacy periods. We had to do a lot of advocacy. We had to do a lot of lobbying. We had to do a lot of talking. I have met over 50 senators, over 50 House of Rep members in just negotiating for this. So I do not believe in just a show of power by talking protest. In the time we had an advocacy visit, the rally we did National Assembly, I was having a meeting with some of the men leaders in National Assembly that called us for a meeting. One of them made a statement that actually made me to adopt some strategy. He said to me, he said, instead of this closing gate and try to close National Assembly gate, which you just did now, say, why don't you just lobby these men, let them come to your side? It was like a joke.
Yeah.
But I felt the man was giving me wisdom. So when we did that period, I think that was the first time Peter Randy followed me to the National Assembly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just made him the PRO for the
NERCO.
For NERCO.
I remember.
Because I had to call him because since he was in social media, he was already involved in social media work.
Yeah.
I felt I needed someone who, of course, he's got a lot of intelligence.
Yeah.
The guy he has good oratory power.
Yeah.
And I'm not into social media.
Yeah.
I'm a leader.
Yeah.
I'm a strategist.
Yeah.
And I believe in getting things right. So, but I needed someone who got the mouth, who knows what to do with the words. And Peter was a good hand.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, I would want you to be the PRO of NERCO. And of course, when we came out from National Assembly, I told him, after we have put in this bill or these letters to them, we're going to start 30 days countdown. And it's actually
this you are saying happened last year.
No, it happened last year.
All
last year.
Yeah, so people can get it. I'm aware
it happened last year.
Yeah.
So I told him we're going to begin 30 days countdown, and he's going to be the one to champion it. So obviously that actually happened on his platform.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. So we had the 30 days countdown.
They're calling out everybody, calling traditional leaders, calling everybody out. Yeah.
And the visitation of so many of them.
Yes.
Then we also now had when the House of the Senate and the House of Rep had their public sitting in all the geopolitical zones.
Yes.
Then narrowing it down to where we are today.
Okay.
The paper that was produced.
Okay.
How come they told us that no electronic voting. Was that the initial agreement?
No, that's not true. And I really want to explain something here because on that Wednesday, that was last week Wednesday.
Yeah.
The Senate had finally now agreed to sit on that bill. I will explain something to you because I've been working with them almost like a part of the committee. This bill, they have tried to present it on the floor of the Senate over 3 times. The first time, Akpabio said they wanted to attend to General Musa's case, that this president wanted them to quickly interview him and make him his minister screening,
yeah.
And they have to drop it. The next one again, another issue came up until that time when they now have to come up. But I can tell you, what Akpabio and his clique were up to was trying to see if they could buy more senators to their side. Because already they have seen the electronic transmission of results inside the bill, and it was still there.
What if you can give us a pep into maybe what was assumed to be or where the senators were, as in their stand on electronic transmission?
Now, I could tell you, over 90% of senators accepted electronic transmission of results. Now, it's also important for people to understand there are 2 things. A lot of people just talk about electronic transmission and that real time. They see real time and then they define it in a certain way. Because I found out that the few of the people who have been working with me did not even know the difference. Now, digital voting is also a real time thing.
Certainly.
When you do digital voting and you're getting display real time on the dashboard, it means when I vote, if it was 21, it will turn to 22.
Yeah.
That's digital voting. And it will be digitally transmitted.
And that's real time.
Real time.
Real time, yeah.
Then electronic transmission of results
It's different.
is different. This one is transmitting PDF.
Yes.
Papers. Now, our senators, in our course of discussion, our senators were more comfortable with this because they were careful that digital voting could be manipulated, could be hacked. So that was their fear. And so when I, in the course of discussion, found out that was their fear, and my talking with the clerks and several people, I said, okay, let me calm down, because this is politics. You don't just cast it down, you negotiate. So when I found out what they were more comfortable with, and I found out, okay, this electronic transmission can still give us what we want, because that was the original thing that was supposed to be done with beavers in 2023, before the glitch matter. I said, okay, let's move on with this. Because if we say let's go with this, already there's a delay. We're already going to 2026. And then it will mean the infrastructure for digital voting will have to commence, even though we had gone ahead to start working on that. But I know it will still take a lot of integrity tests and all that. So that was what was agreed. What was agreed was, I could read a copy of that for you, what was in that section. Because that day, let me tell you, these guys there are some of these people in Senate, especially Akpabio and some of his people, they've mastered criminality and strategy in criminality. That's what I found out. They've mastered it. They also know how to take advantage of gullible Nigerians. So
Ignorant Nigerians.
Gullible,
semantics.
They are gullible people. Some of them are gullible. And that's what they do. And I was shocked that even some key people I felt were supposed to have acted intelligently, grown-ups, and so the ones they call elites, I saw them even on news writing, Senate, your rejection of electronic transmission is not acceptable by Nigerians. But they hadn't rejected. 90% of senators accepted it. But Akpabio and his clique of not even up to 10 people decided to do whatever they did. Now, that wrong, false narrative was sent out on Wednesday, even before senators came out of the chambers. So the Nigerians, let me also tell you, you go and research it, because I've researched it. The same clique of writers, media blogs, Punch and the rest of them, are the same people that they're also using now to write that Senate has amended the law to electronic transmission, which is false. They know it's false. They use them to write they have rejected it, and they shared it everywhere, everybody started posting it.
So it was like a bait.
It was testing the waters. It was a bait. They wanted them to get it so that they will share it everywhere. Then they themselves will not have them because they were in the mood to change it.
So what
they were about to change, amend it.
So what exactly you are explaining that what they passed that day was actually the electronic transmission that we wanted?
I have a copy now. I told them that they.
Abaribe was trying
to explain to Nigerians.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Nigerians like lies. They just like to be lied to. I found out. The man was trying to explain to you what we did was this. And everybody is still writing, they are against the Association of Engineers, all these ones. And whether they are being called by them to go and do that, I don't know. But I'm even surprised that none of them said, let us send the high-powered delegates to even go to Senate and say, can we see a copy of what you passed? It is their right. The Senate is our Senate. We put them there. Ask for it. Why all this shenanigans? Why all this drama?
Sensationalism.
Everybody is coming out with, I don't even know whether we are not acting movie with it or what. Instead of us to push for what we're supposed to get, we are now acting drama, politicizing things, trying to chase out. All
right, allow him to read. He wanted to read.
I want to read for you what was there. And if you see the one Akpabio was reading, you will see what I'm telling you is correct. Because somebody said that what they said they passed was the 2022. It's not true. There was no transfer in what they passed.
So is this correction?
It was this one
that took us back to 2022.
Look at it. He said in section 60, because I told my contact inside, I said, snap the bill and send to my phone. You see, as a leader, I have done a lot right from school. When I came out from school, I became the national president of Nigerian Senior Staff Union Leaders in Nigeria Mining Corporation. I fought for them for over 3 years, fighting senior ministers and the rest of them. I have found out that to work as an activist or as a leader, you must learn to go with facts. You see this idea of going false narratives. These men know you are unserious. That is why once they see you propagating false, they already know you don't know the truth. You don't know what's going on. So they would not take you serious. But if they hear the real truth from you, they will not start fearing you. They will be afraid of you. So what was passed that day? Let me show you what it is. Section 60. I will read from subsection 1 down. Section 60, subsection 1 says, the presiding officer shall, after counting the votes at the polling unit, enter the votes scored by each candidate in a form to be prescribed by the commission. Subsection 2. It says, the form shall be signed and stamped by the presiding officer and countersigned by the candidates or their polling unit agents where available at the polling unit. Subsection 3, which is the one in context. It says, the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to IRF portal in real time, and such transmission shall be done after the prescribed form ECHA has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling unit. This was where it stopped.
And now there's no, let me ask you, there is no other section or subsection that created exception to this?
No. There's not.
So meaning that what they passed, we had electronic transmission of results.
Yes.
So is this their emergency meeting now? That was where the narrative turned us back.
Let me tell you, did you not listen to Akpabio? Akpabio said, Senator so, your motion on subsection 3, you said there was a mistake. Did you see it? That's what he said. You said there was a mistake. I want to reread your motion again. Then he now read this motion, this subsection 3, and now added that where it fails.
So originally, where it fails
was not there. It was never there.
So Nigeria actually got what they wanted.
We helped them to now do the rejection by putting everywhere in motion. Because all this thing we're doing, let me tell you, what we would have done is very simple. It was not protest.
Yeah.
It wasn't protest. And I also doesn't think that there are some presidential candidates I see coming out, it was a bad game, bad play. I don't even know who is handling them. Especially my own brother. I don't know who is handling him. He shouldn't have come out. Because what he created was a power play. This is politics, for God's sake. See, if you were the president, you are Siwaju or Akpabio, and you see your main opposition come out challenging this, you go approve them.
Okay, so let's move forward from where we are now. They need a harmonization between the House and the Senate. So now, we've not gotten what we wanted, obviously, the transmission.
Now let me read for you the stand of the House copy. I took both of them. I had to do a study on both of them. But also, you know the way the House presented their own. They presented their copy with the 2022 Act side by side. Yeah. So they will put the Act and they will put the amendment.
That's a thorough job.
Which is the right thing to do. You know those guys are more intelligent. They're younger people. They're younger people. These guys are just busy to chop money.
Old governors,
like former governors. Or Carlo that's fooling himself everywhere. It's nonsense. That's just it. And he's coming back. We will return him. He'll go home. Go and sleep. Many of them are tired. They have no business.
I actually said today that
so what is the next? How do we move forward? Okay. How do we get what
I wanted to read this section 60 again from the House of Rep version because after that thing happened on Wednesday and on Thursday I went to this National Assembly because you see I like to work from the inside. It's better for me. Yeah. I need to talk to those on ground who are doing
because you are result oriented.
Yeah, I know you. It doesn't make any sense staying outside and I'm shouting. I need to see who is talking. I need to know who is against us. I need to know who is planning against us. I also need to know what we need to do. So when I went, I met with. I already knew that because that false narrative had started flying everywhere, these guys had gotten what they wanted. So it means obviously they are going to change it. Because if that false narrative did not carry the air, if it didn't saturate everywhere, they would not have been able to change it. If Nigerians neglected it and sought for the bill, the actual bill, they would have been able to. Because you see, when the truth is strong, you can't change it. But when you not make the lie stronger, then the lie will carry the day. You know, so that was what happened. And sorry, I just want to give you this so that it's good you hear it and see the difference. Do you understand?
Okay, while he's searching for that, I want to ask you, from what we have, that's electronic transmission of results. What now led to them removing the other clauses on the bill that if you buy vote, you go to jail?
Yeah, that's the question we were asking, you know, that for the Senate to have issues with somebody being jailed for buying votes, that is an indication that they want to buy votes. It's an indication that they want to buy votes. You see, having these gangs of unpatriotic senators trying to set us backward, and maybe because in the choice of our words of trying to be careful, we were in a way supporting what they are doing. Look at what he is telling us. If this thing remains the fact, and this happened to synchronize with what Senator Abadebe was saying that day, that what Nigerians wanted was actually what they passed. And if that's what happened, and these people now ride on whatever the false narrative or whatever intention they have, secure an emergency meeting and decide to act to where it fails. I want to ask you, when you go to the bank to withdraw your money and network fails, what happened? You come back when the network is functional. And the good thing about how the IRS work is that if you make this posting, you upload these things and there is failure of network, anytime the network comes, it uploads. It drops. Just like when I send you a WhatsApp message and there is no network, if there is network, the thing uploads. These are just unpatriotic set of people.
The IREV has an offline mode. Functions with an offline mode, meaning that IREV can snap, and when there's no network, it will stop. It will delay. But it's safe. Then later on, once it sees network, it will automatically upload. So that reason was not even enough. That's why I'm actually calling on the House of Rep members, because that's where we are now. Because they are the scope we have right now.
Do you have the
yes, let me read it for you now.
20? You
see, the section 60 of from the House of Rep. Look at what they said. He said the presiding the presiding officer shall, after counting. Okay, now let me leave all these ones and go to the actual one. Okay, that's it. The presiding officer, the commission shall, that's it. The commission shall electronically, that's what the House of Rep did.
Yeah.
The commission shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit. In fact, it was underlined and bolded. Shall transmit the results from each polling unit to the IRF portal in real time. And such transmission shall be done simultaneously with the physical collation of results. They added simultaneously with the physical collation of results, meaning that as you transmit it, you still move the physical copy to the next
already have
level.
the result waiting for
Transmitted, yes, already transmitted.
So both of them at real time, and at the physical one must correspond at the
No, I mean you could print your unofficial transcript.
Usually at the polling unit, when it's finished signing, there are copies of the result. Then the agents take their own and the other people. Then the presiding officer himself will collect the one that is for him and move it up to the next collation
physically.
Physically.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
At a point, all of them must be in consonance.
Yes, no.
That's the real time and the physical one.
Yes, what happened is this. See, the real time thing of uploading this into the RF is that the moment this is uploaded from the polling unit into the RF, you can't change it again.
Yes, you can't change it again.
So if you bring another one physically and it's not together with that one, it's not avoid.
So, but now when they are saying where it fails, where communication fails, it means even if you don't upload or don't transmit and you bring anyone physically, it can be accepted. So they are saying that from physical, that if it fails, that the physical from ECFA becomes the primary source
of information
of results.
Okay, so now what do we do?
Now, what we do is
because right now we have accepted by all of us that we're going to transmit, but if there is a glitch or a network failure or whatever it is, we will now accept the physical.
No, we have not accepted that. No, we have not accepted that, please. We did accept it. That's not what we asked for, please. Don't even.
It's the electronic one that we want.
CNET wants us to,
not us.
Accept, not us.
Because that's what is in circulation.
No,
right now.
That's what I'm telling you. That's not what we want.
So what should we do?
Well, what we have asked for is that it should be transmitted electronically. Some people are saying there should be the word mandatory in it. I said that's tautology. It doesn't make any sense. In a law, if you say this shall be, it becomes a law. You don't have to put mandatory again. That makes tautology.
And also, especially when there is no exception.
Yes,
but once there is exception, you have killed the
mandatoriness of that law. Yes. So that's it. You don't have to say, they say it have to put it must be mandatory.
Nigerians didn't say you have to put mandatory. Nigerians said it has to be mandatory. And when they say it has to be mandatory, even though you use SHA.
Now let me tell you what the what do you call it? The 2022 Act said. It says the presiding officer shall give to the polling agents and the polling officers where available a copy of each of the completed forms after it has been duly signed and as provided under subsection 2. The presiding officer shall count and announce the results at the polling unit. The presiding officer shall transfer the results, including total number of accredited voters and the results of the ballot in a manner as prescribed by the commission.
Oh, so what does the commission prescribe?
That was what they did in 2022.
That was an exception. That is glitch.
And they use the word transfer in a manner. Transfer means it is not transmission.
Yes.
It means it can be transferred by any means. You can carry it. You can.
So your organization right now, that's NERCO. What's NERCO doing to make sure that what was there originally is what we experience?
Now, you see, NERCO can't do this alone. as simple. Let me explain to you what's going to happen. You see, all this protest is good. There's nothing wrong with protest. I'm not against those protests.
Yeah.
But you're not going to give us what we want.
No, yeah. Nigerians can push back by protest. It's fine. At least protest will show that Nigerians are not happy.
Yes.
Yeah. But the question is, would it get us the result? That's the question. Because these guys like this dance on the street. They like it. And if they get tired of you, they will throw in 2 tear gas. All of you run around and move. That's it. And
As yesterday, we were hearing that they brought other opposing talks to come and displace those that were.
Yeah, no,
but I wanted to ask you a few things.
Please.
Do you think sincerely those protesting are fighting to get this result, or they are fighting to be known? That's one. Two. Do you think these protests, you are being careful with your words, do you think it has helped the work of NERCO?
First, to answer the first one, I cannot determine the sincerity of any man.
Okay.
Whether you're sincere or not sincere is between you and your God. I want to believe that what you came out to do was to protest that Nigerians need this. That's fine. But on the second question, whether it has helped the work, I really didn't think it helped it so much. Because you see, it only helped to make the polity a little more rowdy and gave them room to do what they did. Do you know that Ababio, in front of the senators, read that motion? Before they could say anything, he said, let the aye say aye, they say aye. Nay, he's put the gavel and left. Now, because the polity was already rowdy, that's why he could do that. If we had, what I was suggesting we should do is simple. You see, that this is still, there's still hope anyway.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. This is the Senate passing their part. After this, it's harmonization
Between the House and the Senate.
And the Senate. So this particular section is still in contest. That's what it means. They will need to harmonize it. All
So
right?
it's at the point of
So
harmonization
at this
that we are
point
now.
of harmonization is where we can get our feet back. But it's not going to happen by protesting. It will happen by proper lobbying. Now, NERCO cannot lobby effectively. You can see how much money I have. You can see how rich I am, right? I cannot do proper lobbying in the National Assembly.
Don't you have other partners that believe in what you guys are doing?
I'm coming.
Because I have little time for you now.
Okay. Now, what we need is we need to go in there in National Assembly. We have these people. And go and strengthen them to do what we should do and harmonize this thing back to what it used to be. It has to take a lot of lobbying. But I can also tell you, those people who are spreading the other narrative or bringing that fresh clause that don't want this thing to hold will also push in money into National Assembly.
And they have a lot of money.
And they have a lot
that's
of money
where
to play
I
with.
stop you today.
Yes.
Chinedu Upuala, thank you. We'll have you back here again. And I'm sure a lot of Nigerians have heard what he said and where you can help to do what we need to do. Protest is good, but lobbying is better at this stage that we are. Kings Okafor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Last Line.